The fast-paced, action-filled Azure Striker Gunvolt series has made its way over to the Nintendo Switch with the Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack. But is this compilation electrifying enough to enter your Nintendo Switch, or is the charge on this one already run out? The Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack is a compilation of Azure Striker 1 and 2, which were both originally released for the Nintendo 3DS. The game was developed by Inti Creates, the makers of the Mega Man Zero and ZX series, and this game is very much inspired of the fast-paced, pixel-based action that you saw in the Mega Man Zero and ZX games. The games both take place in an unspecified futuristic setting. You take the role of Gunvolt, who's fighting against an evil organization that's pulling some weird experiments on people known as adepts. Basically, people that have strange abilities that have amplified certain characteristics, making them superpowered, and this company's trying to take advantage of that. The game is very much structured around the Mega Man type setting, with the level design as well as even level selection screen where you get to decide which of the next enemies that you want to take on. A big thing of what makes Gunvolt stand out though is the flash field. It's basically an electrical charge that goes out around them that allows them to do a lot of damage to enemies. You can weaken them using your normal gun, and you can even get different firing rates and different types of fire as you go through the game. But while this does destroy enemies, it doesn't do nearly as much damage as weakening them with that and then using the flash field on them. The flash field, though, is limited. You have a percentage that counts down. If it hits 0, you overheat, and you have to wait a few moments for it to fully charge back up. Though you can use it a little bit, and then it'll refill a little bit quicker. Also, taking damage from enemies will cause it to end up going down a lot quicker, making you unable to use it during certain situations, especially during boss encounters. There's also other abilities to use in the flash field, being able to activate certain switches, or getting platforms to move, or even being able to see in the dark. As well as if you use it while you're jumping and moving around, it'll actually slow your fall so you can fall at a slower rate to better be able to move where you need to, or be able to dodge over enemy attacks. Also in GV's arsenal is a dash that you're able to use to get through areas more quickly or make farther jumps. You get an air dash that you're able to defaultly use in Gunvolt 2, as well as you get items that you're able to equip to give you other secondary abilities, like a double jump. You have to synthesize these items by finding things throughout the levels and getting a better rank in stages so you have more chances in order to pick from these random items at the end of levels, and you'll be given different things that you can then use to help you craft these certain equipment. Along with this, you also have secondary abilities that you unlock by leveling up and defeating enemies and completing levels in the game. These secondary maneuvers can only be used a few times before you end up running out, and you have to wait for them to recharge, but they can end up doing a devastating move, recover your health, or instantly bring you back if you end up overheating. What's also awesome is you can actually use the right stick in order to select which one of these you're using, and then press it in order to instantly pull off these moves. Once you get the grasp of what Gunvolt can do, that's when the fun and action really ends up picking up in the game. You get a real sense of danger during intense moments, especially the boss battles. Learning the patterns and trying to best them is some of the most enjoyment I have with the title for sure. The bosses, as you weaken them, they get more moves, including at their weakest state, they pull off some really devastating stuff that can be really difficult to dodge. The game also has a decent amount of story and dialogue that's told throughout. You can skip it if you want, but for those who can get into the story, there's a lot actually here. I was surprised at the amount of dialogue and text that ended up going through the game. Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 is more of the same, more or less, except you have a second playable character. Your rival from the first game is playable, and he does play a bit different from Gunvolt. He doesn't have the flash field, but he has better maneuverability and different firing abilities that he's able to get, so it's a nice change of pace that's added to the game, as well as Gunvolt gets a few different moves in his arsenal as well. If you've played these games before, what's new in this compilation is, of course, all the patches that they did to the older games. You have 60 frames per second, as well as the event and cutscenes have been spruced up as far as the graphics are concerned, though all the pixel art and everything is still very much here. From the technical side of things, I didn't run into any major issues in either game, slowdown, major glitches, or any sort of crashing. The Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack is available now on the Nintendo Switch for $39.99. There was a version released for the Nintendo 3DS, but there have been some upgrades and other changes made to this version that weren't in that one. Overall, if you've never played these games before and you're a fan of retro action games or the Mega Man Zero ZX games, I highly recommend checking out this pack. If you played them before, they're still just as good, and now you have them on the Switch, but there's not a ton new here, so if you've already played them before, you already own everything on the other versions, you may not necessarily want to jump on this one at the full price. With everything said, and this was my first experience with the Azure Striker Gunvolt series, so I hope to see more of these games in the future. I'm mad at myself for not playing them sooner. I'm going to be giving this compilation a 9 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.